If you have ever found yourself anxious, overwhelmed, or living in the thoughts of what if about tomorrow, well, what if I don't get the job? And what if my kids? And what if my husband? And what if, what if? Well, if that's you, my friend, today's episode is for you. So go grab you a cup of lemonade and let's chat about detoxing the fear of the future. Because listen, it's real can get. Worrying about tomorrow. No wonder Matthew 6 and 34 tells us, therefore, do not worry about tomorrow. Why? Because tomorrow will take care of itself. We ain't got to worry about taking care of tomorrow. Look, we can barely take care of today. But here we are, floating in the future. Matthew 6 and 34 reminds us that each day has enough troubles of its own. So we're not only going to talk about the fear of the future, we're going to help you get through what you're going through. So go grab that lemonade because it's about to get deep and hot up in here. Welcome to Time to Win podcast, where healing and growth collide with purpose, and you get to heal, grow, and prosper. I'm your host, RJ Jackson. Join me as we take a graceful 90-degree turn from stress and struggling to purpose and prosperity. As a professional impact speaker and mindset coach, I'm here to show you the way out of secretly suffering in silence and help you get back on the path of prosperity. Because I firmly believe that you were born to prosper. So if you're ready, let's make that shift. It's time to win, my friend. So let's go fight win. Career decisions, relationships, financial stability, our health, our wealth, our personal goals, and don't forget, our aging parents. Yes, girl, these are common examples of things that we as women often overthink to the fear of the future. Things like, should I go back to school? And what if my business doesn't work? And what if my job lays me off? Not to mention overthinking our relationships and finding the right partner. Will I ever get married? And should I get married? Girl, the fear of the future. Financially struggling. Trying to see if we have enough for retirement. Are we investing wisely? And how do we manage this debt? The list goes on and on and on. It's no wonder God said, therefore, do not worry about tomorrow, for tomorrow will worry about itself, because each day has enough troubles of its own. So now that you've grabbed that lemonade, I think it's time for us to find some aid in the fear of the future. I don't know about you. I know I used to be paralyzed by the fear of the future, especially after my accident. I was constantly worrying about what could go wrong and what would happen if I had to be in this wheelchair all my life. I stopped thinking about the present and started worrying about the future. And here's what I learned. By focusing on what I could not control, I was losing control. And I learned that I had to just trust the journey and trust God with the plans that He had for me. I learned to face the future with confidence. I had to shift my mindset so that I could have a positive mindset. And when I learned to do that, let me tell you, it was a game changer. How about you? Have you ever planned out an entire scenario in your head only for it to turn out completely different? I'm saying, like, stressing for days, like about a big presentation, only to find out it got canceled at the last minute. Life sure knows how to keep us on our toes, doesn't it? Well, I want to give you some practical solutions that I found work for me. I even share them with my client. I want to share them with you not only to keep you on your toes, but to keep you enjoying the moment so you can move forward to the future with confidence and with hope and possibility. So if you're game, let's dive in. Let's talk about some practical steps that work when it comes to detoxing the fear of the future. What can we do? Well, one thing I had to learn to do was take small steps. Now, it's funny because I say take small steps, but I'm in a wheelchair, right? No, seriously, I was in a wheelchair, but I learned the importance of setting small, achievable goals. So instead of looking out into the future, I actually learned how to move my wheelchair by myself, open the door, and do the things that I needed to do every day to get me through the day with joy. I had to stop worrying about the future plans and start managing the small things that made a big difference. I want you to consider trying that. Like, take one step at a time instead of trying to take this big leap over the entire staircase. Like, one step at a time. You ever play that Mother May I game? Mother, may I take a step? And sometimes she would say, yes, you may take one small steps. I don't know how you played it, but I remember playing it. And Mother May I, the person playing the mother in the Mother May I game would say, yes, you can take one small step. And I would get this big attitude. Like, look at her, like, are you crazy? Like, why I gotta take a small step? I want to take a big step. But every small step took me closer to the finish line. Sometimes we think we got to take these big steps, and these big steps sometimes just overwhelm us, tire us out, and then we quit. And can I just remind you that quitters never win and winners never quit? So take the small step, my friend, and step into your greatness one step at a time. And as you're doing that, enjoy the time you've been given. And in case you don't know what that looks like, it's the here and now, like right now. And as you're enjoying that time, here's another practical step that I took. I had to embrace flexibility. Like, life is full of surprises, right? Like, who would have ever thought that I would be in a position where I couldn't talk, I couldn't walk, I needed someone to do things for me consistently, and I didn't know what tomorrow held. And I needed people to do things for me consistently. Who would have thought? I would have never thought, but there I was. And because I was there, it was important for me to be open to change and adapt my new reality. I had to adapt with grace. And I discovered that adapting with grace really does ease stress. And you know, stress will kill you. Yes, it will. It'll cause you to have a heart attack. And do you know that heart attacks are the number one silent killer for women? We don't have time for stressing. It's important for us to embrace flexibility. We can't help what happens to us, but we are definitely responsible for how we respond to it. And here's something I had to remember when it came to responding. I had to look at everything from the glass being half full instead of half empty. I had to visualize a positive outcome. I had to see myself where I wanted to be, not worry about where I would be. Visualizing that positive outcome was the real game changer. I had to see myself walking again. I had to see myself speaking on stages again. I had to see myself hosting this podcast, writing more books, helping more people, volunteering. I had to see my future, not according to what if, but according to the plans that God had for me to prosper and succeed. Visualizing a positive outcome is a powerful technique that can help shift your mindset completely, where you don't have to fear the future, but you can learn to embrace the moment and face the future with confidence. I'm telling you, when I started seeing myself walking, that wheelchair became a tool for me to get back on my feet again. And when I used it as a tool to help me instead of hindering me in my future, things changed. I began to trust the process. I began to have faith of a mustard seed, to believe that things were going to work out for my good. And even if the path wasn't clear, I began the journey of facing my future with confidence. Are you ready to do that, my friend? Because it's time. It's time to face your future with confidence. Lean in, let me tell you something. Girl, it's time to detox your doubts and face your future with unwavering confidence, anchored in the promise of God. Just as it reminds us in Jeremiah 29:11, God assures us that He knows the plans that He has for you, plans to prosper you, not harm you, plans to give you a future and a hope. He promised that He won't withhold any good thing from you. And He assures us that He will supply our needs according to His riches and glory. Let your faith take care of your future. And here's where and how to start. Begin by surrendering your fears and uncertainties to God. Trust in His guidance and His provision, knowing that His plans for you are filled with purpose and blessings. Start each day with prayer and meditate on His word, allowing His promises to renew your mind and strengthen your spirit. And don't ever forget, I'm here to support you in this journey. I want to see your heart heal. I want to see your heart whole. I want to see you find fulfillment and living prosperous in every area of your life. I believe that together we can embrace the abundant life that God has promised us and step boldly into the future He has planned for each of us. How about you, my friend? Do you believe? If so, I want to invite you to take a small Mother May I step forward. So often we think we're waiting on God when the truth is God is waiting on us to take a step of faith. So go ahead, start here and start now. Take no thought but tomorrow. Tomorrow will take care of itself. You got this. And you know what I like to remind you? I'm rooting for you. Matter of fact, I want to invite you to join us at the table as we continue this conversation of detoxing our doubts and our fears so that we can avoid and eliminate overthinking our problems and we can overflow in God's promise. Head on over to IamRJJackson.com. That's IamRJJackson.com. And once you're there, put in the code FREEDOM before you check out, and this will allow you to attend at no cost. That's the code FREEDOM at IamRJJackson.com. Join us at the table. You'll be glad you did. All right, my friend, we've come to the end of our time together today, but I want to remind you it is time to win. So no more fearing the future. Instead, let's take those small steps that will allow us to face our future with confidence. Bye for now.
Thank you for listening to Time to Win. I recognize that you appreciate the value provided in today's episode, and for your gratitude, I'm giving you a Time to Win VIP listener badge. So head on over to timetowinpodcast.com. That's timetowinpodcast.com and claim your badge and gain immediate VIP access to more of our next level resources and opportunities, including details on the huddle, a table for 10, the Cure Circle, and the Cure Retreat. Because you've enjoyed today's session, you can also express your gratitude by rating, reviewing, and returning next week with a friend. Oh, by the way, be sure to screenshot today's episode and share it in your Instagram and Facebook story or on your favorite social media platform. We'll look forward to seeing you again next week in the locker room of life, here on Time to Win. And remember, the best time to win is now.